Welcome back to the WZIP podcast. It's 2014 Women's MAC Tournament action down here at the Q. Number 3, Akron, 83. Number 6, Toledo, 69. Ben, we talked in the pregame about some matchups. How'd that work out today?
Very much so in the Zips' favor. One of the big matchups that we looked at today was Andola Dortch going up against Hannah Luberg for the Akron Zips. They had no answer for Hannah today. 31 points, 8 rebounds. And you know, that's saying something. Andola Dortch really is a great defensive player. She's the two-time MAC Defensive Player of the Year. Hannah was playing in a different world and zone today than everybody else out there on the court. She truly was the best player on the floor today.
She definitely was in a zone. She had 25 points in the first half, which actually set a MAC tournament record for points and a half by an individual. We also talked about the dynamic duel of Tekka and Luberg in the pregame. How did that work out for us today?
Again, Hannah Luberg, an amazing game. Rachel Tekka also had a pretty good game. You know, she added 11 points and 5 rebounds. So together, you know, that's 42 points between those two. There's your dynamic duo doing it again.
Exactly. How about the rest of the Zips? Did we have anybody else chip in here?
Oh, yeah. Besides Hannah's 31 points, Carly Young had a double-double today. Solid game by her, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Anita Brown added another 14 points today. And Casey Castle was very good at facilitating the basketball today. She had 8 assists today, which, you know, solid game by her.
Very nice. The first half of this game was really the story of the game. With 4 minutes to go in the half, Akron was actually shooting 65%. That's not just 4 minute stretch. That is 16 minutes of basketball, shooting 65%. They ended up finishing the half at a little over 58%. Like we said, Hannah had 25. Anita Brown had 12 points in the first half, and Casey had added 6 assists. And what was really amazing is I had talked about in the pregame on how Akron is very good at dishing the basketball. They had 21 first half field goals with 16 assists. That's an amazing stat right there. That's sharing the basketball.
Oh, yeah. And again, led by Casey Castle with those 8 assists. They did a great job moving the basketball, opening up space, putting up shots, making shots, and not wasting opportunities.
On the other side of the ball, we had the Toledo Rockets. We had talked about they have 4 players that average double figures. And how did that work out today for them?
They played their style of offense. They were able to get 5 players with double figures today. Some notables today: Imna Thangera, 12 points. Elena De Alfredo, 11 points. And Andola Dortch, 10 points. So those are your notable players for them. And they, again, when you give up 31 points to another team's player, when she literally outplays, you know, your basically entire team, you're going to have problems.
I know we were actually talking in the first half. At one point, when Hannah had 25 points, the Rockets only had 27 as a team.
They had no answer, and they did different things. They had different players trying to guard her. They were double teaming her. Again, with the great passing that the Zips had today, with all the assists, they were able to create space throughout the floor. When you create space, you cannot double team everybody at once because people are going to get those opportunities. And again, they're very good. The Zips have a very good offense, so they're going to put up points. And when they pass the ball like that, any player can hurt you. And tonight, that just happened to be Hannah Luberg.
And Hannah was definitely in the zone in that first half. She was 8 of 12 overall shooting, 4 of 5 from downtown. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that's just unbelievable.
If you want to read the story of this game, it's that first half.
Definitely. As a team, the team was 7 of 11 from three-point land in the first half. On the other side of the ball, we're talking about Toledo. They didn't shoot so well. For the game, they shot 33.8%. From three-point land, they were 6 of 22. That's not going to win you many games.
Which I don't understand. We talked about it in pregame how bad of a three-point team this is. I understand you're down by a considerable amount. Why go to something that you know is just your Achilles heel?
You're not good at, right?
You know that's not the style of basketball you play. And I understand you're trying to get back, but I guess what I'm trying to say is do what you're good at. You know, pass the ball, go inside, get your fouls. Take a look at what they were from the foul line today.
I don't have it right in front of me.
19 of 22.
Right.
From the foul line.
Both teams actually shot very well from the free throw line.
So you're 19 of 22 in the foul. Why aren't you, to get your 3 points, going in, dribble drive, getting fouled, putting the basket up in, and going for your and one opportunities? It really upset me the way that they went away from that and decided to go to that 3-point shot when you know the coach knows that that's not their style of play.
And even in the second half, the Toledo did make a run and cut the lead to 12 by forcing it inside and getting some fouls and getting to the line and making
playing
the free
defense.
throws.
Defense, going to the line, getting those and one opportunities, staying away from the 3-point line was what Toledo was supposed to do to win this game, and they shot themselves in the foot by going out beyond the arc.
Yes.
We talked about what was their shooting percentage total? 6 of
22 from 3-point
6 of
land.
22 from 3-point land. Here's a stat for you: 4 players went 0 for 10 from 3-point. Andola Dortch, Janice Montcana, Stephanie Rieker, and Janelle Reed-Lewis went 0 for 10 combined 3-pointers. That is not how you win basketball games. And you keep shooting, and you're missing. It's not like this was a good 3-point shooting team that had a cold night. You know, you expect those teams to shoot 3-pointers and hopefully catch fire.
Right.
This is a team that is bad at shooting the 3-pointer, but consistently throughout the game was going to the 3.
Well, like we said, Akron had a 20-point lead at halftime, actually extended it out a little bit to start with. Toledo made a run at it. They cut it to 12. Jody Kess took a timeout, said something to her team. They came out, scored a bucket, gave up a bucket, but then there was a big 3 by...
Oh, the big 3 with Carly Young.
Carly Young had a dagger to push the lead back out to 17 and pretty much...
Play of the game, in my mind. When a team gets a big lead like that, you become complacent. You know, we're sitting up here, we're watching this game, and we're like, come on, girls. You know, don't let them come back. Don't let them come back. And you see this Toledo team gaining confidence. They stopped shooting threes. They went inside. They started, playing Toledo basketball, going to the line. They don't miss free throws. And they were going to the line a lot.
And it really seemed like already Akron had mailed it in, figured they had a 20-point lead, they're going to win, and Toledo almost surprised them there. So, well, Akron,
yeah, and that huge 3, I'm up here and I'm talking to you, and I'm saying they need a play right now to wake them up. Open pass. Carly Young at the top, 3-pointer, and that started another run for Akron, which they needed because it was a dry spell there for a while.
Exactly. And not only was it a 3, but it was a deep 3. It was a good foot off the line.
And in that second half, they needed somebody else to step up. Hannah, as great as the first half she had, kind of got tired, I think, a little bit in that second half. And I think that's also what contributed to the run that Toledo made. And they needed that other person to step up. And, Carly Young, 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Akron wins. They advance. Tomorrow they'll play number 2 seed Central Michigan, who found out today that they're going to be without MAC Player of the Year, Crystal Bradford, who's out with a knee injury.
That is huge. You are playing against the MAC Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and First Team All-MAC. That's what she was named to this week. She will not be on the court. What exactly is Central Michigan missing? 20.3 points per game, 13.3 points per game, or 13.3 rebounds per game, sorry about that, 2.7 steals, 5.5 assists, and a block and a half a game.
It's definitely a
She's
big
a
chunk to your
defensive
team.
presence. She's an offensive presence. She'd probably be the best player on the court. I can honestly say, in my opinion, Akron will have the 2 best players on the court against Central Michigan.
The one thing I have a little concern with is we saw in the final game of the regular season against Bowling Green, to where Rachel Tecca hurt her knee. I'm wondering today, she didn't have that greatest game that she's used to having. She actually played some limited minutes today. She only played about half the game. I wonder if that is bothering her, or did they just not need her today?
No, and you know what? Because of the huge game that Hannah had, I personally didn't realize how little she played. And then Matt, who was also helping us out today, he noticed it and brought it up to us. And then, we started watching, and that's something that we need to find out about if we can, and see how healthy or unhealthy she is. Because I know 11 points, 5 rebounds, that's not Rachel Tecca-esque. That's still pretty good. If she can't go, then I'm really interested to see how Central Michigan, because that means you can really, really double down on Hannah Luberg.
Right.
And try to take her out of the game. And that means the other Carly Young has to step up, and Casey Castle and Anita Brown need to play amazing, because this one could be a fight, because I think you're gonna have a Central Michigan team with a lot of emotion without their best player.
Without their best player, yes.
And from my experience in sports, when you lose someone like that on your team, you go 2 routes. The one route is where you go inside, why us? Why us? And you just fold. That other part of you goes, time to step up. It's time to go play some ball. And you just want to go out there and show everybody that it just wasn't one person that made a team.
Well, for Akron, we hope it's that first one. Again, we're here at the Q. We will continue to have our coverage. We got the men's games coming up, so stay with us, and we'll have a preview of the men's game. I'm Terry Rabbits. This is Ben Jeanette. We have Matt Schisler helping us out in the back. See you soon.